Matt's story begins like many tales of the unexplained, ordinary moments that suddenly veer into the extraordinary. In 1997, while riding bikes with a friend through the Los Padres National Forest in south-central California, he had no expectation that his life was about to take a dramatic turn. The forest was calm, the air warm, the ground covered in pine needles and dust. Then, without warning, everything changed. A foul, overwhelming odor drifted through the trees, so strong and unnatural that both boys stopped in their tracks. As Matt scanned the dense treeline, a sharp crack echoed, a thick limb snapping somewhere deep in the woods. Before he could make sense of the sound, he saw it, a massive black arm extending from behind the trees. It was long, muscular, and covered in coarse, black hair. The arm alone was the size of a grown man's torso. It moved with deliberate strength, and then it was gone. The moment seared itself into Matt's memory. He and his friend fled, terrified and confused, knowing they had seen something that defied explanation. Growing up in a region rich in Native American heritage, Matt was familiar with stories of beings in the forest, but nothing prepared him for witnessing such a creature firsthand. When he shared the experience with local tribal elders, their response wasn't disbelief, it was recognition. They told him that these beings were real and that not everyone was meant to encounter them. Some people, they said, are chosen. After that encounter, the forest seemed different. Matt began noticing unusual patterns on trees, deep gouges, twisted limbs, and markings that didn't match any known wildlife behavior. Some trees were bent or broken in ways that suggested intentional placement rather than natural damage. The elders later suggested these were territorial signs, indicators that powerful beings moved through the forest and left messages only they understood. For Matt, the woods took on a new weight. Every gust of wind, every crack of a branch, seemed to carry hidden meaning. But his experiences didn't stop with the forest. About 4 months later, while canoeing on a lake that Native Americans considered sacred, Matt found himself face to face with something even more unbelievable. The lake was known in tribal stories as a portal, a place where energies from different worlds converged. According to legend, the lake connected spiritually, and perhaps even physically, to distant waters, including the ocean. Matt was paddling peacefully across the still surface when the canoe suddenly lifted beneath him. Something enormous rose from the depths, pushing the boat upward and nearly throwing him into the water. The event was so sudden it felt like a direct and intentional force. As the creature rolled just beneath the surface, Matt caught a glimpse of its back, and what he saw stunned him. Its scales were massive, each one the size of a dinner plate, thick and glistening like polished stone. The creature wasn't fish-like, nor did it resemble an alligator or any known aquatic animal. Its sheer size alone suggested it belonged to a category of beings long dismissed as myth. Panicked, Matt paddled back to shore. Once again, he brought the encounter to the tribal elders. Their response was calm, even matter of fact. They confirmed that lake monsters were part of the region's history, beings that existed long before humans arrived. They told him the creature he encountered might be one of the ancient water guardians or portal keepers described in their lore, creatures that occasionally rise to the surface but mostly remain hidden in the deep. The encounter reminded Matt of the legendary Loch Ness-type beings described around the world, and he wondered whether similar creatures might be connected by some global pattern or ancient migration. As if these experiences weren't remarkable enough, Matt's story takes yet another turn, this time into the world of UFO phenomenon. His grandfather, a man known for his honesty and practicality, once witnessed a craft hovering silently in the sky. Not only did he see it, but he managed to photograph it. The image was crystal clear, showing a metallic, structured object unlike any aircraft known at the time. Yet, in a bizarre twist, the photograph mysteriously vanished shortly after. No one in the family ever saw it again. The disappearance only deepened the mystery, especially considering how other unusual events seemed to cluster around Matt's family. Over time, Matt began to sense a strange connection between these phenomena: Bigfoot, water creatures, UFOs, and the ancient stories of portals. At first, they seemed like isolated events, each belonging to its own world of mystery. But as he learned more from tribal elders and other experiencers, the pieces started to form a larger, interconnected picture. The elders spoke of the land itself as a web of energy points, where different forms of life, physical, spiritual, interdimensional, blend and cross paths. Certain families, they said, are more attuned to these energies, more likely to witness what others never will. Matt came to believe that his encounters were not random but part of a lineage of awareness. His grandfather's UFO sighting, his own Bigfoot encounter, the lake creature, all seemed tied to the same deeper truth, a hidden world existing right alongside our own. The idea of portals, once abstract and fantastical, began to feel real and tangible. The places where these events occurred shared common traits: ancient tribal significance, reports from multiple witnesses, and strange physical markers in the environment. What makes Matt's story so compelling is the consistency of the experiences and the way they intersect with traditions passed down for generations. Tribal knowledge has long contained accounts of forest giants, water guardians, sky beings, and spiritual gateways. While modern society often dismisses these stories as folklore, Matt's encounters breathe new life into them. Whether or not one believes in Bigfoot, lake monsters, or UFOs, his narrative forces us to reconsider the possibility that our world is far more complex than we assume. Throughout the interview, Matt speaks with sincerity and humility. He doesn't claim to have all the answers. Instead, he offers the details of his experiences and leaves listeners to draw their own conclusions. The more he experienced, the more he understood that curiosity must be balanced with respect for the beings he encountered, for the land they inhabit, and for the traditions that have kept these stories alive for centuries. For those who tune into Sasquatch theory, Matt's story is a powerful reminder that the unexplained is not limited to a single category. The world of the paranormal is vast, interconnected, and deeply rooted in human history. Encounters with Bigfoot may overlap with sightings of mysterious creatures in the water, which in turn may connect to strange activity in the sky. The idea of portals, once the realm of pure fiction, may hold more truth than we realize. As the episode concludes, viewers are left with a sense of wonder and possibility. Matt's story doesn't close doors, it opens them. It invites us to look differently at nature, to listen more closely to indigenous knowledge, and to question the boundaries of what we think is possible. His journey through forests, lakes, and the mysteries of the night sky forms a timeline of experiences that challenge our understanding of the world. For those who enjoy exploring the unknown, Matt's encounters are just the beginning. Sasquatch theory continues to bring eyewitnesses together, sharing stories that push the limits of what we believe. Subscribe for more investigations, and keep the curiosity alive.